So I want to introduce someone that I've worked with over several years, both when I was in forestry and certainly when I was in tribal government. And that man's our Principal Chief, Michell Hicks. I'm going to read just a biography of Chief Hicks for you this morning. Ask him to come up and make some remarks. Michell Hicks, is a CPA, and he was recently reelected as Principal Chief of the Eastern Band of Cherokee Indians by an overwhelming majority. Chief Hicks previously served 3 terms as Principal Chief and as a former Executive Director of Budget and Finance. Michell led the 15,000-member tribe through a period of remarkable economic development and cultural achievement. During his time in office, Michell has displayed significant foresight and resolve in the financial and strategic progress of the tribe. He has also established himself as a national leader in Indian country. Michell is a graduate of Western Carolina University with a bachelor's degree in business administration. In 2015, he was awarded an honorary doctorate of humane letters from the University of North Carolina, Asheville. Michell and his wife, Marcia, reside in Cherokee with their 5 children, Savannah, Noah, Lindsay, Amaya, and Marley. I'd ask you to give a warm welcome to my friend and my chief, Principal Chief Michell Hicks.
Shio. Hello. Good morning, everybody. I appreciate Vice Chief, the kind words. We did a lot of work together, and we had a little bit to do with, the build out of these facilities that you guys are sitting in. I hope you approve of where we've come as a tribe. So thank you guys for being here. I appreciate just the opportunity just to say a few words this morning. I'm encouraged by, the numbers that are here. I know that, you all have a lot of hard work. And, when you think about, Timber Council, that includes a lot of things. It includes, our trees and our plants and, our animal base and the water. And, we had a conference here last week around our air quality. So I know how big the responsibility is, and definitely respect the work that each one of you do as it relates to, protecting our sovereign lands. And so me and Vice Chief, overall, we probably served together probably close to 30 years in various capacities. And, I retired in 2015 after serving 3 terms and, 20-something years with our government. And I took an 8-year break. Traveled Indian country. I've probably been to a lot of the, your tribal lands that are sitting here. I probably touched 30 to 35 different tribes doing work, which learned a lot. But, as we were preparing to run, for Vice Chief and Chief the first time, I was pretty young. I was 38 years old. I knew a little bit, but I definitely didn't know how to be a chief. And so Larry come to me one day, and he's like, I got a plan. And he always has a plan. And he says, I know you're younger, but he said, I think you're ready. And he says, now we got some battles and we got some wars that we're going to take on. But he said, I'm going to be right behind you the entire time. And I couldn't tell if he was joking or not, but he was right behind me and sometimes in front of me, depending on what our situation was. But, I think, just like you all, the partnership means something, whether it's partnerships with other tribes, whether it's partnerships with the agencies that we have to work with. We have to grow those partnerships, and we have to find those opportunities to build upon our foundation. I've said this many times, that when we come into leadership, we're given a foundation. And the question is, what do we do with it? Do we expand it? Do we build it? Hopefully we don't sit idle. And so again, as you guys think about, each one of your responsibilities, and especially protecting the sovereign lands that we've been blessed with, make sure that, you're putting those plans on the table. Make sure you're putting those strategies that align. And hopefully, we find resources. We were talking this morning just about the budgetary resources. And, when you think about timber compared to some of the other things that are moving in Indian country, may not always be a priority, but you got to fight hard. Fight hard to make sure that the things that are very important is protected. And so we appreciate you all coming out. One of the things that I really try to do, when I go to other tribal lands, is I always want to try to bring back a piece of culture. Whether that's a piece of art, wood carving, or beadwork, or pottery. We have some great spots here to shop with the museum, the co-op, a number of craft shops. So make sure you bring a piece of culture back. I think it's important. It gives you opportunity to remember, and to appreciate, the Cherokee culture. And again, I think that it's a great opportunity, to share that with your family and your friends, and hopefully we can bring you back, to Cherokee. We have a lot to offer here. We are hosting, if any of you all attend the National Congress of American Indians, we're hosting that this coming month, June the 2nd through the 6th. We invite you back. I know there's going to be a golf tournament, and again, we'll probably have upwards of 900 to 1,000 folks here in Cherokee. So talk to your supervisors and your managers, your directors, your executive directors, and say, hey, I want to come back to Cherokee and spend a little more time. I didn't get to see everything I wanted to see. And so thank you for this opportunity. I hope your week goes well. If we can help in any way, there's plenty of folks here that can direct you, whether you want to get out to a location, see our expanded hospital and mental health services, our language academy. There's a number of programs that we've been blessed with as Cherokees that we would love to share with you. So anything you want to see, you have to let us know. And with that, God bless and safe travels to each one of you. Shkeen.
I'd like to ask if there are any of our tribal council representatives in the audience. I know I saw one earlier, Mr. Bo Crow. Are there any others? Bo, would you stand up? Yes. Bo has been a long-term council member. He represents the Wolftown community here in Cherokee, and we appreciate you coming this morning, Bo. I know the chief is going to be here a few more minutes. I think he's got a meeting at 9 o'clock, but Chief Hicks and I, as he said, we go back a long ways. He was in the finance office. I was in tribal council, actually. And man, that guy's tight. He tight with money, let me tell you. So I'd come in with a grand plan, and he's like, I don't know about that. How are we going to sustain it? How are you going to make it go? Good question, Chief. I'll get back to you. But I always said Chief Hicks, he's been a great steward of our finances, a great steward and a visionary for our tribe. I always said that, my ideas sometimes come across painting with the broad brush. You know what I mean? And Chief Hicks, he was always the one to come in and fill in the detail. What is this about? What does this mean? Always questioning, but in the long run, it was advantageous for our tribe and people. So, Chief, I appreciate you taking your time this morning to join us for a few minutes. We're having, yes, give Chief another round of applause, please. We're doing host tribe welcoming dinner tonight at 6 o'clock at Painttown, if you're able to join us. I think the Niagara women are hosting the dinner, or providing the dinner. So our next speaker is the president of the Intertribal Timber Council, a longtime friend of mine, and I appreciate him being here this morning. Cody Desautel, I butchered it. Cody has served as the executive director of the Confederated Tribes of the Colville Reservation since 2022. Prior to that, he worked for the tribe as a natural resource director, forest engineer, a forester, fuels planner, and for the BIA as a natural resource officer, soil conservationist, and inventory forester. Cody has a bachelor's degree in environmental science from Haskell. So at this time, please welcome to the stage Cody Desautel.
Good morning, everyone. I'd like to welcome everyone to the 47th Annual Intertribal Timber Council Symposium. Almost a half a century. That's amazing to me. Probably longer than half of the people in the room at least have been alive. So I know how much work goes into these things, and just want to, again, pass on all the gratitude to Tommy and his staff to pull this thing together. I think this is probably the largest we've had. Howard, point me in the right direction if I'm wrong, but I think we had almost 400 registrants. So I think the biggest one we've ever had. So a round of applause for Tommy and his staff for pulling this together. I'd like to thank the chief for his comments this morning, Larry for helping guide us through the morning session. Appreciate being in Eastern Cherokee. Always good to move around the country, look at different things that are happening in Indian forestry. I'm always amazed at how dedicated staff working for tribes are, all the things they accomplish with the limited resources they have. So we appreciate you hosting us. Amazing facilities. Look forward to what we have for the week. As I sit here, it reminds me that I'm clearly in a room of foresters because the entire first two rows up front are completely empty. The typical, as we had a meeting yesterday talking about why we all go into forestry, we're kind of introverts by personality, and that shows. So we've got an amazing agenda put together for you here this week. Some really intelligent people doing some really amazing things across the Indian country with our federal partners and NGOs. So I encourage you to meet some new people that I think a lot of times we think you're probably doing as much as you could be, but I promise you you're not. There's somebody out there doing something that's innovative, that's cutting edge, and this is really an opportunity to seek those people out, learn what they're doing, and almost certainly there's some examples you can take home with you to improve things you're doing at your home reservation. Want to put in a couple quick plugs. One, we have the second assessment of American Indian forestry research information needs and priority. Sarah up front has 50-ish copies of those. So this is something we've worked on for a number of years, trying to recognize where that unmet research need is in Indian country. I mean, DOI as a bureau doesn't really have research funding. All of that happens through the Forest Service, but through time, we've grown partnerships with both the Forest Service research stations, different institutions in academia that have helped inform this and provided that research skill set that we need. So encourage those that haven't seen it to take a look at it. There's some good information in there. The actual survey is in the back. And I think this is probably something, it seems like about the time we roll it out, we're ready to update it again. So please take a look at that. Also, just want to recognize that, again, this is the Intertribal Timber Council, but I'm not sure how many non-tribal staff we've got in the room. I would presume there's a bunch of people from federal agencies, state agencies, NGOs. I know I've seen a number of them that I recognize, but please encourage you the same. I think we've done a lot of work as ITC over the last particularly 10 years, working on tribal engagement across all state, federal agencies. And there always seems to be a question about how you engage with tribes. And when we're not that scary, come up and talk to us. There's probably a ton of things we can work together on. So encourage those not from Indian country to do the same. Take advantage of meeting some new people, finding out what opportunities are out there. And again, just make those contacts. Those personal relationships seem to be where there's good work happening across boundaries nationally. And with that, I want to make sure I save enough time for Tom since we're running a little behind. So I will give it back to Larry and welcome everybody. Look forward to the week.